Good afternoon, students. I am Dr. Megha Tupe. Today we are going to study the new topic from your paper Morphology of Angiosperms. Name of the topic is permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are those which have become mature and do not have the ability to divide further are called permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are made up of cells that do not undergo cell division. The cells in these tissues are modified to perform some specific functions. The cells in permanent tissues are fully grown, bigger in size, and have a certain shape. The metabolic rate is lower in the cells of permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are derived from the meristematic tissues. Types of permanent tissue. Depending upon their structure, origin, and function, permanent tissues are of three types. First one, simple permanent tissue. Second one is complex permanent tissue, and third one is secretory tissues. Simple permanent tissues are made up of cells from the same origin which have similar structures and functions. They are also called homogeneous tissue, and they are further classified into three types, that is parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma is the type of tissue, is the type of permanent tissue in which it is the kind of simple permanent tissue found all through the plant body. These tissues are made up of living cells with thin cell walls which are loosely packed to accommodate the intracellular space. The cells of parenchyma permanent tissue are generally round or oval in shape. Parenchyma consists of chlorophyll, that is why takes part in the photosynthesis, and it also performs the function of storage as well as it performs the other functions also. The cell wall of the parenchyma is made up of cellulose and which consists of vacuoles and nucleolus. This is the diagram of parenchymatous, a typical parenchymatous tissue. You can see that the cells that are present in parenchymatous tissue, they are isodiametric in shape, and the cell wall is very thin and they are loosely arranged. They are not compactly arranged. Okay, so this is about the parenchymatous cells. Again, second type is collenchyma. Collenchyma is also a living tissue, consists of a thick cell wall that is made up of cellulose, water, and pectin. As compared to parenchyma, collenchymatous cell wall is very much thick. The cells are compactly packed in collenchyma tissues, causing very little intracellular space. The refractive index of collenchyma tissue is the highest due to the presence of pectin. It contains a less amount of chlorophyll. It is mainly found in the hypodermis of leaves and stems of dicots. It is not found in the roots of plants and neither in the monocots. Collenchyma, they have thick cell wall than parenchyma, okay, which has deposition of cellulose, pectin, and water. And this collenchymatous cells, they are compactly arranged. Okay, so that is about the collenchyma. And in this slide you can see the diagram of collenchyma. Irregular thickened primary cell wall. You can see the cell wall is more thick than parenchymatous cells. So these are the collenchymatous, or you can say collenchyma tissue. The functions of these tissues are to provide mechanical strength, elasticity, and tensile strength to the plant body. Again, it also participates in the sugar manufacturing within the plant body and stores in the form of starch. It is also found in the leaf margins to prevent the leaf from tearing by the wind. It provides flexibility and undergoes dedifferentiation to form phellogen or cork cambium and regain meristematic activity. So these are the functions of collenchymatous tissue. Collenchymatous tissue, they have more strength than parenchymatous tissue, so they are helpful to provide they are helpful to the plant for giving mechanical support, elasticity, tensile strength, and so on. Collenchymatous tissue also has some types. There are 4 types of collenchyma. These are briefly explained, that is tangential collenchyma, lacunar collenchyma, angular collenchyma, and annular collenchyma. Okay, so depending upon the thicknings of the tissue, these collenchyma, they are or type of collenchyma, they are the name they are given to that type of tissue, that is tangential. If there is a tangential thickening, or you can say plant collenchyma and laminar collenchyma are other names for them. They are organized in rows and have thicker tangential walls. Okay, so the clerodendron stem is one of the example of tangential thickening. Tangential thickening on the cell wall, that type of tissue, they are called tangential collenchyma. Then lacunar is there, angular is there, annular collenchyma is also there. Okay, so that is about the collenchymatous tissue. Again, another type is the sclerenchyma tissue. Fibers and sclerids are two basic forms of sclerenchyma. They are briefly described below. Uh, in case of that, fibers and sclerids are there. We have seen up to this presentation that actually three type of permanent tissues are there. In case of simple permanent tissues, parenchyma is there, collenchyma is there, and sclerenchyma is there. So we have seen about parenchyma and collenchyma. Now third type is the sclerenchymatous tissue. Sclerenchymatous tissue, they are more thick than collenchyma. Okay, collenchyma is somewhat thick than parenchyma, and sclerenchyma is more thick than collenchyma. Sclerenchymatous tissue, there are of two types, that is fibers and sclerids. Okay, fibers. What are fibers? Fibers are long, elongated cells found in stems, roots, and the vascular bundles of leaves. The bundle caps and sheets of vascular bundles, especially in monocotyledon plants, are made up of fibers with tapered ends and can be several centimeters long in higher plants. They are the longest cells. They can range in size from 1 to 8 millimeter in length. Fibers means they are fiber like long structures are there with tapering ends. They are frequently seen in clusters, clumps, or patches. They lack a nucleus and cytoplasm. The cell walls of fibers are evenly thickened and lignified. Intraxillary and extraxillary fibers are the two primary kinds of fibers. The xylem contains intraxillary fibers. Outside of the xylem, extraxillary fibers can be found in the cortex, pericycle, or phloem. Okay, so sclerenchymatous tissue, they are present in the plant body in the form of fibers. Okay, another type is sclerids. Sclerids may be found in a variety of plant tissues, including the periderm, cortex, pith, xylem, phloem, leaves, and fruits, and come in a variety of forms like spherical, oval, or cylindrical. This kind of cell is responsible for the hardness of nut shells, the coats of many seeds, and the stone of drups. They are frequently characterized by thicker cell walls. Sclerids are rigid and stiff, with very tiny cavities. Plant organs rely on them for structural and mechanical support. In this slide, you can see the diagram of sclerenchymatous tissue. These are the group of sclerenchymatous cells, and this is one of the diagram of sclerenchymatous cell. You can see the very thick wall in the cell. Okay, and here in the next diagram you can see the sclerid and fiber. As also I have as already I have told you that fiber, they are just like straight structures. Okay, they have tapering end, and they have thick cell wall around them, and into the fiber there is a space that is called lumen. Okay, so they are fiber and sclerids. Sclerids, they are the stone cells actually. Stone seeds of fruits. Okay, like what we call them as stone fruits, like or you can say shells to them, nut shells. Okay, the coats of many seeds and custard apple seeds. The coat of the seed is very hard. Okay, then stones of drupes, berries, and plums. Okay, so they are the examples of the stone cells. Whatever hard part in the plant of fruit or fruit seed coat or seed, you see that is made of sclerenchymatous tissue, especially sclerids. Okay, here in this diagram you can see that sclerid consists of thick cell wall and it has pits on it, and with this pit inside the cell, inside the sclerid, there is a presence of lumen or space is there. Okay, so this is the diagram for sclerids and fibers. They are the sclerenchymatous tissue. Okay, so students, in this oral presentation we have seen the simple permanent tissues. Okay, that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Okay, in our next lecture we will see the another type of tissue. Okay, thank you.